Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mavis, your friendly neighborhood veteran, and I'm going to continue off where we left on part 2, or episode 2 of Tiny Bunny. Load. Also, please hit that like and subscribe button. You can also check out other works made by that I've collaborated with Pathos Productions, who is actually silently working on some, but he's also live with me. You can check out all the other. He does a lot of Warhammer 40k related works. He's doing also his own original series, which he has not given me the name for it yet. And he's also doing a Fallout series based in Texas, which I'm really excited to be a part of. But it's all fan fiction, and it's really an enjoyable process seeing how all this comes together. Recently, he's also done a lot of Warhammer fan fiction on Cold Open Stories. You can also check that out in the links below once I get this video uploaded. And yeah, let's go ahead, sit back, relax, and enjoy the horror that follows.
I could hear muffled voices behind the doors, saw blinking lamps. Darkness creeped along the windows, and it felt like the school was drifting in open space like a lonely, lost spaceship. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. I moved closer and took a look at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it glued to the left of the notice board.
Я же говорила.
Vova Matyukin. That was his name. A fourth grader. On that grainy print, Vova looked dead, with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? A plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul, as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window, took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children, in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school, child's voices were hammering a nursery rhyme.
Для медведя, для лисы, зайчик кушать принеси.
I turned my head toward them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor, with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. She was also looking pompous, stopping along the way and whispering some secret in her friend's ear. She was probably a class rep, since she was carrying an attendance register book.
Екатерина, возьми, пожалуйста.
The teacher opened the classroom door, and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, a tall, red-headed fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the insides of a pomegranate. A bad feeling risen up the hair on the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before. Unsettled eyes, cackling laughter. The girl was a smaller copy of the teacher, warned the boy with a wave of her hand, and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him.
Топай речь, ему дело.
The boy flew headfirst, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cackling. Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all of the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I could still run away, go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagined myself running through snow, how it squeaks under my boots, and how I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. The ringer's trill blew that illusion away. I tore myself from the window with great effort, then took a couple of deep breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed.
Я новенький. Мне вот сказали к вам подойти.
The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages.
А фамилия-то как?
Петров.
Громче говори. Чего мямлишь?
Петров.
Нет такого.
She measured me with a long and heavy stare, as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous beast.
Ты не ошибся? Нет такого в списке.
My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fists so hard my knuckles became white.
Мне сказали, 204 кабинет, Лилия Павловна, 6 В.
Apparently, everyone in the classroom took my words for some sort of joke, because they were all laughing.
Что за бардак?
The classroom fell silent. The kids hid their smirks for a better occasion.
Понаберут студентов. Только знают, что губяки свои малевать. А я разгребай, значит. А бумаги-то кто заполнять будет? Не первый раз ведь уже. Подожди здесь. Сейчас. Сейчас я им устрою.
The teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, danced on it like laser sights. Once again, I imagined running far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump, with the wind in my back as my only companion. The eyes of my future classmates were asking, this new boy, is he one of us or an outsider? Somebody whispered something and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom.
Доску вытри!
It was easy to guess who was the main prankster here.
Эй, очкарик! Ты чё, не только слепой, но еще и глухой? Доску вытри, говорю!
My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. My prayers were answered by the powers that be.
Ну что мне с тобой делать-то? Куда сажать, а? Давай-ка сядь, наверное, с Семеном. Он все равно один.
Еще чего?
The fatso put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, scratched his belly, and smirked.
Ты опять за старое? Снова бабушку в школу вызывать?
The classroom went silent.
А чё она мне сделает?
Не она, так я тебе сделаю. Рюкзак убрал быстро.
Simeon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something, to resolve this somehow, to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued in a stifled voice that sounded nothing like me.
Я могу за последнюю парту сесть. Там, кажется, свободно.
The teacher snorted loudly. She looked at me, then at Simeon, then back at me.
Ладно, садись пока туда. А с тобой, Бабурин, мы еще поговорим. Чтобы подошел после уроков. Будешь по классу дежурить, ясно?
Simeon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the tip of his nose, ripe for the taking. I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. I took my seat at the back, at the last table, where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats and the class was ready to start.
Вот и хорошо. Начнем урок. Тема – традиции русской и мировой литературы в рассказе Зощенко «Не надо врать».
The fatso turned back to me. His stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. "I've got my eyes on you," said his watery look. After just a couple of periods, I'd already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Then at the cafeteria, this Simeon accidentally spilled a glass of compote on me. And then he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Simeon pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. They made way, cursing, but I couldn't hold my balance and ended up ramming my face into the girl I took for the class rep before, right in her chest. I immediately stepped back, dying from embarrassment.
Прости, ты в порядке?
Я...
Then she suddenly put her hands on her hips.
Нет, ну вы посмотрите на него. Облапал меня прямо у всех на глазах. Я сейчас все маме расскажу. Тебя из школы выгонят, извращенец.
There was some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes, as if she was a child who was about to put a lit-up match to the Schaefer beetle.
Я нечаянно, меня толкнули.
Все видели, слепых среди нас нет.
She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Simeon's laughter cooled my head.
Толкнули? Чё, правда?
He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground.
Вот так, да? И чё ты сделаешь?
The bully towered over me, as if saying, "Come on, hit me. Let me see you try."
Слушай, ты...
My throat went dry. My lips were moving on their own, and my voice was akin to a stifled squeal. Simeon wore a mocking smile.
Давай, продолжай, очкарик. Чё примолк-то? Нам всем очень интересно.
Если еще хоть раз меня тронешь...
Simeon slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead.
Натронул и чё?
Еще хоть раз!
Тронул. А вот еще. И еще. И еще. И еще.
He was poking me with his finger so hard that my head tilted backward. I must not cry, or I'll be done for.
Что ты мне сделаешь, мямля?
My vision went blurry. My soles tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a random punch without looking. What I saw when I opened my eyes was beautiful and horrifying at the same time. Simeon was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. Was I the first person to rebel against his absolute rule?
Стопэ!
Эна!
I needed to run, but I was already surrounded by his cronies.
Лилия Павловна! Лилия Павловна! Петров Бабурина ударил!
Simeon's cheek grew even redder and his pimples even whiter, like the heads of lava. But a smile flashed on his face that was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me. The smell of rotten teeth washed over me.
Тебе пиздец.
His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid from a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit, counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist will go. The solar plexus, the jaw, the nose. But he just turned around and walked off. I thought, cold and sober, an extremely rational popped up in my head. I'm going to get killed today. I was late to leave the school after classes on purpose. Simeon didn't attend the last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home, forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief, like someone on death row whose execution was delayed by a day. But I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Simeon was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stayed for some more time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. All of the bustle moved to the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking out of the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on its head. The sound of running water was coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone. A sudden thought came to mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board, near the schedule. I remembered his smile, him looking at me, and the fact that he's most likely already dead.
Привет.
I shuddered and turned around. At first, my eyes stumbled upon the black violin case. Then I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple of times. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty. The spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Simeon's jokes. And she wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Kanya. She spent all the breaks just like me. Staying in the classroom or looking in the window, or drawing something in her green notebook.
Здравствуй.
I turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor.
Круто ты ему врезал. Это вышло случайно. Почти.
I started shoving books in my backpack to at least put something in my hands.
Вроде Семен раньше таким не был. Он к нам недавно перевелся.
Stand by. god, stop. Oh no.
Бабушка мне его по секрету сказала, что он словно взбесился. Семёна даже старшеклассники побаиваются. Представляешь? А ты вот молодец. Не струсил.
Угу.
I mumbled in reply. Yeah, right. Me, brave? A hero that has been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating. The girl looked at me with clear, attentive eyes.
А ты за рекой живешь? В том деревянном доме?
Ну да.
Там, наверное, страшно. Да еще через лес идти. Я бы так не смогла.
I shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought of intertwining branches, of a snake-like trail, of endless darkness that spread like mold among the crooked trees. So I straight up lied.
Да не так уж там и страшно. А что тебя так пугает?
She smiled after a brief pause, as if brushing off a daydream.
Да так. Ничего. Меня, кстати, Полина зовут.
А меня Антон.
Ну, это я знаю. Слушай, Антон,
She stumbled, as if trying to decide whether she should continue.
а что ты делаешь после школы?
My chest felt prickly after her innocent question. It felt pleasant.
Ничего такого.
I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. Alyssa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes in the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. What if that fox girl was waiting for me after school? Or was it another of her weird jokes? I wonder if she's hiding a big red tail under her coat. I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat, like after PE class. I wanted to take a shower, as if just thinking of the foxy girl made me dirty, soiled my clothes, lured me into the forest's embrace.
У меня сейчас занятие, скрипка. А потом я Дедушка мне репетитора нанял.
Apologies.
Наш учитель музыки, он же скрипач. А здесь, в поселке, ему некому преподавать. Только мне.
She waved her free hand in the air, imitating the movement of a bow on violin strings. I could almost hear the music. It chased Alyssa out of my head. I looked at Paulina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. It felt like I was very small and the feelings were immense, and they couldn't fit inside me.
Тут говорят, что у нас в поселке маньяк завелся. Раньше со школы меня всегда дедушка забирал, но в последнее время ему не здоровится.
I snuck a glance at Vova's photo. His eyeballs were studying me. His lips were wearing black lipstick. Just like the portrait on a gravestone.
Ты не подумай, я не трусишка, просто мне кажется, что с тобой будет безопаснее. Антон, ты сможешь проводить меня до дома?
There it was. Finally, after everything that I read about in the adventure books, everything that I dreamt about was seeping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duel. A duel. Thinking of Simeon instantly sobered me up, returned me back to earth, and it started shaking under my feet like a deck of a ship. If only I could rise to the occasion in front of Paulina. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that. And him knocking me out won't even be the worst of it. The worst part is that Paulina will see all of that. And she'll laugh at me like everybody else. No, I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state.
Сегодня вряд ли получится. Ты же знаешь, Семен, скорее всего, караулит на школьном дворе. Лучше мне с ним разобраться лично, по-мужски.
Глупости какие.
Paulina brushed off some hair off her forehead, and I sensed a weak aroma of blackberry. Paulina was like water. When you were thirsty, you gulp it down and still wanted more. I remember the summer evenings at the country house, the fire's pungent smoke, the berries hanging over our fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. Those few peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom, resting in the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could have I foreseen the upcoming catastrophe in the crackle of the coals, and our parents' laughs and the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was?
Думаешь, этот дикарь будет честно драться? Со своими дружками набросятся всем скопом, опомниться даже не дадут.
Paulina suddenly flashed a devious smile.
Но если мы пойдем вместе, это их ошарашит. Я же не только первая скрипка на деревне, я ведь еще и девочка. Слышала от знакомого хулигана, что он никогда не нападает на кого-то в присутствии девушки. Представляешь, у них кодекс чести такой.
A delinquent you know, I thought, worried. Is he better than me? Taller, more handsome?
Ой, мне на музыку пора.
She made a couple of steps and stopped. Amazing. Paulina didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamps, she looked much more alluring.
А ты играешь на чем-нибудь?
My parents bought me a guitar a couple of years ago. I immediately remembered my meager attempts at making music. Change. We're all waiting for a change. Soy's song echoed my thoughts and my desire to change something. That guitar got lost somewhere, as if refusing to move to the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more.
Увы, не играю.
Жалко. Ну ладно, я побежала. Пока!
Her shout was Her shout was captured by the loud echo. Her shoes also echo through the school hallways.
Пока!
I wasn't sure if Paulina heard me. I looked out the window again. The schoolyard was empty. Just a couple of grade schoolers throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody looked like the hulking Simeon with his cronies. This was giving me hope. What should I do? Paulina could become my friend, the first one in this new place. And besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. Even though my inner voice was hesitant and whispered about running away from the killers lurking in the woods at night. Paulina was worth the risk. But the red cunning fox was also intriguing. She promised me to help look for Vova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will almost guarantee peace in my family. Gifts for Olya. I imagine my sister, happy like those girls who get prizes for Supernov, in the finest hour. She'll be dancing with the famous singers, maybe a new popular boys band like Ivanushki International. Mom and Dad, hugging in the Ostakino Pavilion. I apologize. And then all of us going to Disneyland. After closing my backpack, I ran downstairs. I scanned my surroundings through the window in the main hall. Nobody suspicious in sight. The school doors creaked. The sound was similar to the music from a thriller, the high note that comes before an intense scene. I ran around the school corner, trying not to catch anyone's attention. The smell of pastry and burnt sugar wafted from the school cafeteria. I froze when I saw a silhouette in the second floor window. It must be Paulina, gliding a bow on violin strings, with her head slightly tilted to the side. I wish I could hear the melody she played, but Paulina was only a dark outline on the window's yellow sheet. I dragged my feet forward. The net on a football goal in the yard fluttered in the wind. The same wind that hurled small white whirlwinds through the field. Somewhere nearby, an invisible tractor was humming, scaring away the crowd of calling birds. The hum of its engine sounded like the howls of hungry beasts that chased me through the snowy desert. Alyssa and her scary mask also came to mind. Right now, in the light of day, it was really hard to believe she was real. What did she say back then? At the backyard, near the hanged man. What did she mean by that?
Извините.
The silhouette turned around the corner and walked deeper into the dead end, leaving cigarette smoke in its wake. He was an adult. A teacher, maybe. A used syringe among the cigarette butts. I hope somebody just needed an insulin shot. I looked at the wall. There was a hanged man drawn under the thin black line of resin. Someone played the hangman here. Something was scribbled on both sides of the man. Escape, fear, truth.
Ближе, мой сладкий.
It took me a while to realize where the sound was coming from. My eyes strolled through the cul-de-sac at the school backyard, through windows and snow. One of the snow piles started trembling, like a volcano before it erupts.
Отдай твое сердце!
In the blink of an eye, the white crusted crumbled, and the fox jumped at me. She made a gracious bow, enjoying the effect her appearance had on me. The sliver of snow shined on her coat. I couldn't even imagine that thinking about girls with tails can be this. I don't know what to compare it to. Something infectious? Toxically sweet?
Отпор не дал, сердце потерял.
She giggled so enthusiastically that it forced me to smile.
Да ну тебя!
I quickly rolled a ball of snow and threw it at Alyssa. She tried to dodge, but it was too late. A hit to the shoulder.
Ух ты ж! Гадкий мальчишка!
Да, вот такой я!
The fox slowly backed down, trying to arm herself.
Ты хитер, да мы хитрей! Ловок ты, да мы ловчей! Ха!
Her retribution was swift. A snowball arched its way above the snowy yard and the ravens flying in the air. I wanted to duck, but slipped and fell to my knees. And while I was getting up, I caught a huge chunk of snow with my face. It burned up from the cold. I swore loudly from immense disappointment.
Блять!
using the words I heard in Sector Gaza's songs on the cassettes I hid from my parents. If Dad heard this, he would have definitely gave me a good whipping. He had a very low tolerance toward obscene words and always communicated in clean Russian.
Да ладно тебе. Не больно же совсем.
She brushed off my hood as if to show compassion, took me by the elbow and helped me get up. With care uncharacteristic for a child, she took off my glasses, blew away the snowflakes that were stuck to them, and handed them back.
Вот так. 1-1, Тоша.
Only people who were close to me called me that. And I haven't even seen her real face. I didn't know her last name, what class she was from, and if she had a real tail under her coat.
Желаешь отыграться?
Мы хотели поискать Вову, помнишь? Лучше поторопиться, а то меня родители станут искать.
The fox let out a lazy yawn.
Родители. Как скучно. Да не будь ты таким занудой. Давай чуть-чуть поиграем. Все равно тебе дома тоскливо.
А ты откуда знаешь?
Тоже мне тайна. Со взрослыми да в 4 стенах тоска смертная. Всегда. У меня от стены взрослых нервный тик. Вот.
Her furry fox brows started twitching. I faked a laugh in reply, unsure whether being able to move parts of a mask like that was genuinely funny or not.
Ну же, Тоша, решайся. Я же вижу, ты хочешь поиграть. И если победишь...
The fox girl got dangerously close to me and stood on her tiptoes, almost touching my face with her rough little nose. Playful fires danced deep in her eyes. She smelled nice, like berries on saccharine. Is this the smell of independence and true freedom? I mean, the kind where all you have to do in your life is run wild and eat sweets. Her whisper poured into my ear like scalding hot water.
Если победишь, буду твоим провожатым. Поверь, мне есть что тебе показать. Найдем твоего Вову.
I felt as if a giant invisible spring bent inside me. My tummy hurt, but the sensation was somehow not exactly unpleasant. It was so weird. I just had a conversation with Paulina, and now Alyssa was going to drag me along with her. I felt like my mind was becoming blurry, splitting in two, like those gravestones on the TV record.
А если проиграю?
Душу из тебя выцарапаю, неженка. Давай, скорей!
She burst out laughing, whipped the hem of her coat, and ran toward the road we used to come to school in the morning. Her promise, that sounded almost like a threat, hypnotized me. I bent down and scooped up some snow. I wish I had a device that could tell whether Alyssa was joking or being serious. Or is there always a third option with people like her? Between her jokes, her laughter, and her hot breath on my ear, I wanted to win. To punish her for the lightness and freedom she possessed that was clearly too much for an average girl. When I, on the other hand, was possessed, or rather intoxicated by the thirst for adventure, by my curiosity. Just like that time when I ate the cherries from Mom's nalivka and lied down with my eyes closed while the bed was spinning underneath me. I spat, then cleaned my lips. Do you want to play, little sister fox? Well then, let's play. I armed myself with a snowball and chased the fleeing fox girl. I saw a familiar street with a wooden post that didn't look scary anymore. They were just logs, covered in snow. If I were to shout now, the guard dogs would start barking and their owners would peek out of their windows. Alyssa's small silhouette was mocking me from far away, so it was useless to try hitting her with a snowball for now. Waste of ammunition. Birches, mutilated by the cold, peeked out to view along the clear road. A giant snow pile towered near one of the trees. This was probably the place where the tractor brought all the snow from the village. A whole family of foxes would fit in such a pile. No, I thought. She's the only fox around here. She alone is already too much. My second morning acquaintance was running around near the edge of the forest, the stray dog with a mangy tail. She sniffed around and mocked the naked berry bushes and ran toward the other ones. Alyssa showed up from under the hill.
Жулька! За мной, девочка!
The dog's ears perked up. It barked in agreement and followed her lead. We ran farther and farther, exchanging snowballs, laughing and stumbling. The winter forest towered in front of us, reaching for the low clouds. We were at the edge of its shadow, bony and almost corporeal. The fox hid behind a huge pine, clearly trying to get close to me and shove some snow down my collar. It was a good plan, but Zoka, who was running circles around her, gave her away. I broke off a dry branch and decided to act even trickier. I put my hat on it and peeked it from the side of the pine. I'll make her think that it's my head. I bit my lip to stop myself from laughing, then jumped up from the other side and performed a point-blank throw. Alyssa probably cracked my plan right away, but still let me win 3-1. I was wounded in the leg and she got shot in the chest and in the stomach, losing imaginary blood in front of my eyes. Pleading for mercy, while also choking from laughter.
Молюсь, жалься! Помираю!
Да все, живи!
Спасибо, добрый рыцарь!
She pretended to bow to me, then grabbed 2 handfuls of snow and, like a dying warrior, threw them my way in a last-ditch effort. I dodged her attack easily, laughing uncontrollably and being mad at the same time. I finished her with 2 precise shots.
Живи, живи! Научил бы меня жить, раз умный такой.
Молчи, ты умерла уже!
Тоже мне помеха. Давай сыграем в кое-что поинтереснее.
She dashed between the trees after blowing snow in my direction.
Раз, два, прилети, сова. 3, 4, 5. Время поиграть.
I hesitantly moved toward the windfall.
6, да, 6. Дыбом волчья шерсть.
I thought I was a real tail gliding across the... What the hell? There we go. I thought I saw a real tail gliding across the bushes. I rushed to the intertwined branches that helped Alyssa to hide as if something was pulling me there. I had to move them, tear them off like a spider web. Branches sprang back in my face, but it felt like they were caressing my cheeks and not hitting them. I was sweating, but still had a lot of stamina left. I'll make sure to catch you, little fox. Alyssa's voice was wandering among the windfall.
7, 8. Бьем копытом озимь. А я тебя недооценила. Думала, ты просто мальчик.
Confident that she was behind the dry pine, I rushed to intercept her. But the local acoustics tricked me. Her voice was already echoing from the other side.
А ты зайчик. Шустренький, хорошенький.
A snowball flew at me from the shadows, whistling near my ear.
Я тебе дам, зайчик!
Дай мне зайчика, дай.
A bright fox fur coat flashed near a rotten stump. I rushed there, jumping over a ravine.
Зайчик, выходи скорей. Мясом накорми зверей.
Hold up, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back.
This furry collar that flashed from every tree was the most important thing in the world for me. My lips started trembling, as if I was a cowboy that was chasing his prey. One jump and the fox was in my embrace, so smooth and desirable.
Все, ты победил!
She leaned against the scratchy bark and started puffing.
Пожалуйста, давай немного отдохнем. Ты слишком быстрый, слишком сильный, лакомый, слишком.
Satisfied, I put my hands on my sides, waiting for the spoils of war from the defeated girl. But what I got instead was a sly snowball in my smug face. The cunning fox ran away, roaring with laughter, but I wasn't even mad about it. I needed to catch up to Alyssa, to tackle and subdue her, tear off the mask and see everything.
Бедный зайчик прыгает возле мокрых сосен. Страшно в лапы волку серому попасть. Думает о лете, прижимает уши. На небо косится, небо не видать.
The sky really did disappear under the trees. I moved using the barking of Zolka as a guide, since she was closely following her owner, and I was getting closer. And the same trail I imagined back at school blinked under my feet. It turned out that running like there's no tomorrow was so easy. Faster, higher, faster. I felt like there was a well of untapped potential inside me, and I drew from it. My muscles were buzzing, my lungs felt bigger, and I felt much stronger overall. Even my vision became sharper. I saw every icy branch, every dent in the bark. Something colorful was lying near the bushes, a piece of clothing. Another colorful spot to the right. Alyssa was losing her clothes on the run, like shedding her skin. I also used my teeth to take off my mittens, excited by all of that. I'll get naked and feel all the wind to the last drop. Faster. I reached out to take off my hat, to throw away everything that stops me from running wild in this endless forest. The backpack slowed me down, so I threw it in the snow along with all the pens that were inside, with all the notebooks, all of my drawings on the sidelines, and a dinosaur for Oya. Oya. Suddenly, a clear picture appeared in my mind. My sister, standing still near a window, basking in the dusking sun. Her small, childish palms are pressed to the glass, leaving marks when they warmed it up. She could warm up the whole world like that. She's looking at the tiger and saying my name.
Тоша!
I stopped, took a deep breath, and realized how rash and stupid I was, trying to undress in the middle of a forest while chasing a fox. I returned to get my backpack, as if it was part of my being I dropped. I remembered again how my sister didn't like to be left home alone, how she asked me to come home faster. What kind of brother am I? Running in the forest that I used to scare my sister with. I'm having fun while she's not even loud over the doorstep. Sit in your cage, Oya, and watch the same cartoons over and over.
Тоша!
Да, Оленька.
Тоша, а куда? Куда так скачешь, чмошник?
From the darkness behind the pines, just like the cavemen from their cave, appeared smirking Simeon with a bunch of his cronies.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that recording. I'm sorry, but I have to drop this off here at least the hour and 10 mark. I kind of was streaming this for 2 hours straight, so you guys can go check it out in the next episode. It's literally right over there. You go to the playlist, and you look under Tiny Bunny playlist, and you see all the original ones, and then you can check out the recap, or you can just watch the original ones when I'm not doing the James Earl Jones impression. It doesn't matter. But anyway, hit that like and subscribe button to keep track of more content. That's what I'm trying to say. It is now around 11:45ish at night where I'm at, but I hope you guys enjoyed the story so far. There's more to come, trust me, believe me, for those of you who are just now finding Tiny Bunny. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care. God bless. Ciao.